Hi there, televiewers. Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of In the House. It's the 19th day of August 2021, and we are so excited to be here to discuss societal ill. Yes, as days goes by, more and more families weep over, stories that are really so disheartening. Today we have one of such absurdities we are going to talk about. Another family has been hit hard in Cameroon, and on In the House, when one family is hurt, every family, I believe, in Cameroon is hurt, and we take the pain to talk about it, to educate you all on how we can go and prevent such issues. So it's about this mother who lost her two kids in Bonaberry, yes, precisely at Bojongo. She lost her two babies, an 8-year-old and a 1-year-old, because a neighbor wanted to poison her co-wife and then ended up killing the kids. So our topic goes thus: Douala lady mistakenly kills neighbor's kids in an attempt to poison co-wife. Your take. What do you think about it? What can you tell Cameroonians today to do? What can you tell them to prevent such occurrences? Are we educating our children enough about food and all whatnot? Do we just receive food from neighbors and dive in and start eating? What we need to do to prevent such acts? Why should a co-wife poison, a famous another co-wife? Okay, that's what we'll be asking here, considering that these family are Muslim, and we know that Muslims are allowed to get married to more than one wife. Dolly Ngonde is in the house with us. Good morning, Dolly.
Good morning, Eileen.
How are you doing today?
I'm very good, and you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Welcome to In the House.
It's always a pleasure, and happy Cultural Thursday.
Thank you, sweetie.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning to you who's watching us at this hour. It's a great honor for us to know that you have chosen us to be on your screens this moment. Yeah, you'll be doing the right thing if you stick with us for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. As you already know, it's In the House. But if you are a new timer, then stay glued to your TV screens or whatever screen you are using. And it's highly interactive, highly participatory. We make our lines open for you to send with us your contributions. Eileen has already elaborated on what we'll be talking about today. It's quite pathetic, you see, but we must talk about these things so that we save the next generation. Because I bet you, if one life is lost, that's an entire generation that's
of course,
gone.
Dolly.
And we're looking up to erasing these vices so that we can make a virtuous society. And it wouldn't be successful without your opinion or your voice is being shared. And in the house, we do it,
Of course.
Yeah, we keep on reminding you as well. Send your contributions timely so that we can read them as fast as possible.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. Well said, Dolly. And I love the African attire this morning as well.
Thank you.
And we have Nora Kebei, who is also looking gorgeous this morning in her African regalia. Good morning, Nora.
Good morning, Eileen.
Welcome to In the House. Happy Cultural Thursday.
Happy Cultural Thursday. It's always a pleasure. Good morning, beautiful ladies and gentlemen on set. Good morning, televiewers, and thank you for choosing my media prime as your preference this morning. You're welcome to In the House o'clock, where we discuss family and societal issues. And wherever you're watching us from, just stay glued to your TV set. And of course, we're going to be discussing about, the topic has already been displayed on your screens, and just send in your contributions, you comment, like, and you share.
Thank you very much, Nora. It's very important, and we say shout out to all those on our Facebook page. I'm thinking about you, Pet Attempts, you, Peter K, Anita Eno. We have Maxwell from United Arab Emirates, and a whole lot of you all. Many thanks, Mirabelle, and all of you. Thank you for your great support. We have Alphonse Kwin in the building with us. Good morning, Alphonse.
Bonjour, Ali.
Comment tu vas ce matin?
Je vais très bien, merci.
On est content d'avoir un homme sur notre plateau aujourd'hui, parce que quand on parle de mariage, il faut que la vie d'un homme aussi, on peut écouter ça, et on va aussi apprendre beaucoup à ce que tu as partagé avec nous.
Merci, c'est toujours un honneur d'être ici sur le plateau avec vous pour parler des sujets divers qui touchent la société camerounaise et africaine en général. Et ce matin, comme tu l'as si bien dit, on parle d'un sujet où une jeune fille, une femme en fait, a décidé à rater en fait. C'est un coup qu'elle a raté. Elle voulait empoisonner sa coépouse et puis ça a mal tourné, elle est partie. Le poison a plutôt attrapé les enfants de sa coépouse.
De sa voisine.
De sa voisine, en fait. C'est de ça qu'on parle. Et je tiens aussi à saluer tous les téléspectateurs qui nous écoutent au Cameroun et dans le monde entier. Bonjour, j'espère que vous vous portez bien.
Thank you very much, Alphonse. We'll definitely hear more from you on the show. And yes, we want to open, our doors to everyone who has an advice or remedies to some of these poisonous substances after consuming poison. What will you advise somebody to take ASAP? In the course of the program, maybe my panelists will as well chip in their own grandma remedies so we can save lives out there, because this young woman, Viviane Sime, who is the victim, she's the one who lost her 2 kids, I think Mabel and the other one who is 1 year old, a 1 year old baby girl. The other one is 8, that's Mabel. She attempted taking her own anti-poison because she, when this food was brought in from this woman called Raimatu. Raimatu is the woman in question who poisoned these 2 kids. She intended poisoning her co-wife and ended up poisoning these 2 kids. So she served food for her co-wife and for the neighbors, and so she poisoned this one for the co-wife, then the other one she didn't put poison, but unfortunately she swapped the plates, gave the one with poison to the neighbors, and then the other one that had no poison to the co-wife, who ate and didn't die. But Viviane consumed a part of the meal. You know, as a mother, she had not yet prepared food, and she was like, I cannot be eating food when my children are still very, very hungry. So she decided to give the meal to the children to eat. But suddenly she felt this uneasiness in her body. She was not comfortable, and she sought to some remedies at home, anti-poison remedies. But unfortunately, her kids, who had also consumed the meal, took part of the remedy. But as children, their systems are not as strong as you and I. The immune systems are weak, and they didn't succeed, and they rushed them to the hospital, and that was it. As you can see there, Desmond, can you put a little bit of volume so the televiewers can listen to what Viviane is sharing?
Les larmes ne cessent de couler du visage chagriné de Viviane. Cette maman n'a plus qu'une seule phrase à la bouche.
Desmond, we had to listen to the woman talking, and anyways, let's take a pause there. Let's take a musical break. We'll be back to get the woman's, her experience, or let's say her testimony to what happened to the children. We say shout out to all the Manu people. Oh yeah, Tinto Republicans. Yes, we have Nora here in the building, and Dolly is a sister. So we are celebrating you people on In the House. Yeah, Thursday is reserved for our cultural heritage. Okay, hope you did love that beautiful one. Coming back to the studio, it's a sad day, it's a sad story. Our hearts are indeed heavy. And Desmond, if Vivian's element is ready, let's listen to her talk.
Elle est venue avec une botte bleue, avec le couscous, avec la sauce fleurée. Elle est venue se tenir devant la porte avec l'assiette. Ma fille Ange, elle a tendu la nourriture. Ange a demandé, c'est pour moi. Elle a dit non, c'est pour ta maman. J'ai donc alors, Ange m'a alors donné le plat. À l'instant, j'ai commencé à manger. Subitement, j'ai suivi la voix des deux enfants qui venaient. Ils sont venus me trouver en train de manger. Ils ont commencé à manger. J'ai laissé le reste, ils ont mangé.
Va s'en suivre.
That was Vivian there talking, explaining what actually happened to her kids. And as she got there, the two kids are no longer alive, and we have Raimatu, who is currently under gendarmerie custody as investigations on the issue continue. Nora, I'm going to start with you. As parents, have we become very, I don't know what to say, are we careful enough, are we watchful enough over what our children eat? What advice do you have to give? This can happen to just anybody, you know, receiving food from your neighbor. Should we encourage that? And before eating, do you think there's something we should do before we consume this meal, before we react to this particular situation of a co-wife who is killing her co-wife? Has marriage become so a do or die matter that you take away somebody's life to be the queen of the house? Is it really worth it?
Eileen, first of all, I want to say that we are Africans, and community life is just our way of life. It's our way of life. You cook food and you want to extend to your neighbor. You want to extend a helping hand to your neighbor, not because they are hungry, but because it's the way we live. It's our lifestyle. Yeah. It's our lifestyle. That's how we live. Sometimes you just cook something, you just say, okay, let me share with a neighbor. But I really think that this was generosity gone wrong. Yeah. It's generosity gone wrong. You can't, because first of all, the poison was not meant for the children. It was not intended for the children. Yeah. That was not her target. Her target was Akeba. But whatever happened while she served the dishes, whatever happened in between, only God alone knows. How she interchanged the plates, and the plate finally landed in the neighbor's house for the children to eat, and pass away. Our hearts actually goes out to this family. Yeah. And I just want to say, sometimes when there's a saying that when the kitchen is too hot for you and you can't stand it, then walk out. Exactly. Walk out.
Walk out. Get some fresh
now,
air.
This family, this woman is, from the reports, it said she's supposed to be somebody from a Muslim tribe, and I think that Muslims have it's their tradition to be polygamous, for the men to be polygamous. They are polygamous, and if by any means, by any chance, this girl was not even from the Muslim tradition, it should dawn on her, it should dawn on her that I'm getting married to a Muslim man who someday will get, another wife, a second wife, and even a third or a fourth. Yeah. But what is happening here is not even like she's a stranger. She's not a stranger. She's Muslim. Her husband is a Muslim. So I don't know how on earth you had to, start considering this idea of looking at your mate, your coepus, as a threat to you. If you can't, if it gets to that point where you can't stand the marriage, you can't stand the woman, walk out rather than resorting to take a life. Now, what were you thinking? You've ended up behind bars. Maybe she has children, and children will grow up knowing that their mother, killed a neighbor's child, a neighbor's children, not even one child, neighbor's children. And how do you live with that thought? A mother. You're a mother. You're supposed to be a role model. There are things that we shouldn't even conceive, Eileen. There are things that should not even cross our mind. Sometimes when you start thinking, they say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. There are times that you sit and you start, thinking of we all get into these temptations at some point in our lives. But when you get to that point, Eileen, call the name of God. Just say, Satan, get behind me. That's what I was talking while I was not young. Our principal used to tell us, when you start thinking, when those evil thoughts start coming, just say, Satan, get behind me. Yeah. Just say it. Just say it. Satan, get behind you, and you see that you become released from those entanglements. Some of these things are just terrible. I don't know how you can look at your friend, your sister, because she's your we call it Banya in Cameroon, your co-wife. Somebody who you've lived with all your, for several years in the house, and then at some point you start thinking that you have to do away with the person. And when you do away with her life, what next? What next? Even if she dies, fortunately she did not die. And what if she had even died? The husband would have still, if the husband wanted to get another wife, he would have still gotten another wife, and you would still live with a co-wife in the house. So what is even the point? It's pointless. It's senseless. We should learn to tolerate people. It's your tradition. It's not like some culture which was forced down on her. You're getting married to this man. You knew that. You're very aware. It's your tradition. It's part of your culture that your husband may get as many more wives as he wants.
And like you said, Nora, if the worst comes to the worst, why not leave? It's true.
Just leave.
It's not advisable. We are not advising married women to leave their marital
It's
home.
Better to leave than to commit this kind of crime.
A murderous act.
Yes, it's better for you to leave
your head and your dignity intact. And most definitely, if it's really love you're looking for and you pray hard for it, maybe God is going to provide it for you. Yeah,
it will come.
Than taking the sword into your own hands, the law into your hands, and then.
And thank God for this woman who did not die. And I just feel bad for the neighbor who lost the children, young children with life full,
exactly
ahead of them.
Like Dolly was saying, that's 2 generations already wiped out.
Come on.
In the twinkle of an eye. Can you imagine that?
Come on.
Daughters, for that matter.
Please, women, I don't know how desperate we get sometimes. Marriage is not the ultimate. Marriage, if it's not working, it's not working. If marriage is not working, it's not working. And it's not everybody who should get married.
It's not everybody if your husband who prosper in
marriage. You can stay alone and you do things for yourself. And you still get happy. It's not because you
Nora, catch your breath. We're definitely going to hear more from you later. Let's hear from Dolly. Dolly, do you think Rahim Matu might be going through some emotional depression? Do you think that she did not feel loved enough in her marital home that pushed her to sideline the co-wife whom, according to my understanding, might be getting more of the love from husband? Our husbands also accuse, or should we blame them for such acts that pop up?
Yeah, Eileen, well, it's quite pathetic. I wish we were just treating this topic like,
a normal topic.
Yeah, a normal topic, or we just, framed it, to talk about it. But it's so unfortunate that it's actually the reality that we are facing right now. It's very possible. Let me start by answering your question here, Eileen. It's very possible that she might have been marginalized by the husband. When a woman isn't, feeling attention and affection from her husband or someone she entrusts, to be emotionally attached to, she turns out wild. For some people, they are mature enough to handle that. But for some people, it becomes bizarre. Either they act crazily than you ever expected. It's still a possibility, which I also wanted us to talk about, and it's so good that you've mentioned that to me. Eileen, it's so bad to understand that you have 2 wives and you cannot treat them equally. For what I know about polygamous marriages, the first law is that the first law that binds any successful polygamous home is that you will show equal attention, care, and whatsoever to these persons that you are bringing together to come and live either under the same roof or to bear your name as their husband. That's the first rule, even before loving them.
True.
Yes, it is a requirement, because this is already a game. I'll put it that way. Any polygamous home is like a football, field where people have to come and play their turns and all of that. Everybody is trying to be the best and all of that. But you, who is like the referee or the match dictator, you are not in any way choosing. There is no victor and there is no vanquish at the end of the day. Everybody is supposed to be given fair treatment and fair play, and you treat them, accordingly with respect and mutuality. What I know about the Islamic culture culture is that when you are marrying the many or more than one wife, you must be capable of providing their needs, showing them equal attention, for what I really know about that. And so if the man did not meet up to this, it means that he has failed maybe one of the arms of the religion, which is he has a part to play at that point. But then we don't know if that is actually the case. But if that is, then it is it can result to a situation like this, because Eileen, we know in this country, or we know mostly in the African context, where it's more of some people are moved by their emotions while others are moved by character formation. Now you take the case of two ladies in your life where one is well built up, like structured, character wise. Let me start from character. One is well built up character wise, and the other is not, having those qualities. The first thing that most of these men get to bring strife in their various homes themselves is by starting to compare the women. Oh, you cannot cook well, Zita can cook well, this one cannot cook well. All those kind of thoughts and humiliation makes the other wife, who sees herself as a competition to the other or competitor to the other, it starts making them, especially if they cannot meet up. It's just like you have two children, you always appreciate one. There is a tendency that jealousy will sprout up in the other's heart. So if that is the case, if that is the case, it's not a good way, to ever in any way encourage hard work. That is not a strategy for me. You don't encourage hard work by demoralizing anybody in society, because at the end of the day, everybody has his or her capability. But what I know is that before you got married to these two persons, you deciding that you get married to the two of them, you knew both of them, and two people can never be the same. No matter how you train them, whether you put them in the zoo and you conserve them for 30, 40, 20 years, they will never behave the same. So Eileen, first case point I want to raise out here is that if you are marrying two wives or more than one wife, you must already know that to avoid these situations, it's first of all a wrong decision to cohabit them in the same place, especially if you know that these people have never even been in any form of agreement. And if you know that you cannot treat them fairly or equally, then it's best to put them aside. Like, you have your own hurt, you have your own house, but then it's a culture or it's a religion that promotes this kind of marriages, which means that people who uphold it, you know that you're already you're abiding, you're already putting it in your heart, like you're going to abide to the rules and regulations, guiding or governing the marriage or whatsoever. But at the end of the day, Madam Nora, you mentioned something that that you have to abide to the culture. Is that you just mentioned that? But at the end of the day, we all are humans too. You understand? We all are humans. I'm not here to promote any bad behavior, which means that if anything under the flesh, I keep on saying it, anything still in the flesh cannot be trusted. It's just like you cannot even trust yourself. There are times you must have told yourself that I cannot do this thing. Are you with me, Nora? I cannot do this thing, but you find yourself doing it because what? You are also infallible. It's not like you're infallible. You are capable, or you're prone to making mistakes. So these things happen, and now it drives me now to talking about the way this couple, or the husband rather, might have been treating these women. If it is built from an environment of segregation and discrimination, then there is bound to be jealousy, which could cause an act like this. But then notwithstanding, Eileen, we also have people who are generously wicked. I want to put it. I'll do a balance. I'll do a balance, definitely. That was just to look at one side of as to why she might have reacted the way she reacted, when there is not too much attention or there are discriminative tendencies. Then we are bound to recount a situation like this.
Or she just wanted to be alone as the wife,
exactly,
and not accept any other wife under that roof.
It's so easy for you to stand in the court of law and you declare that yes, I do so swear, or you abide by the rules, and then meanwhile you have already put it at the back of your mind that this is how I'm going to eliminate this person or this person. Most often, these second wives things, I see the trouble coming first from these people who because the fact that you are taking that option, it definitely it's like you are coming prepared. But that not to say there are only second wives who could behave like that. There are other people who could just be also naturally wicked, like why are you supposed to be here and all of that. It's true that they accepted that they were going to cohabit with you, or they were going to live with you, because I've actually lived an experience where a first wife wholeheartedly welcomed a second wife. and welcomed a third wife and welcomed a fourth wife. To tell you the truth, Eileen, from what I observed in that experience is that from the second to the third to the fourth wife, they were the ones who were bringing the trouble in the house.
Okay.
But the first wife had no issue, like there's no problem. You said
she had welcomed three.
She had children. She had everything that she would have given to the husband. But as it is, it's as if some men, it's as if when they have one woman,
it's not enough.
And you say when rapper don't weapon, no, you get for change and get another one. So it's like exactly. So the first wife had no issue because she knew that that's like the norm. But when the second wife heard that a third wife was coming, trouble started.
But the first one did not have the problem when the second one was coming. Yeah. And now the second one
exactly. She had a problem. She had a problem not only with the wife who was coming, but she had a problem with the first wife who had been there before her. So
accepting other
exactly. It's
wives.
just so funny. It's just so funny. The choices that people make at the end of the day. It's just like it's so hard. Like for some people, if you cannot take a particular decision to say that you will be here and abide to this thing, it's best not to just carry yourself and get in there. Yeah. Because it's so bad for you to get into somewhere and then you start carrying yourself, packing yourself and packing your things out again. But who knows the future, Eileen? Like I always say, the human life is just so funny and unpredictable. But at the end of the day,
if you give in to your demons, they take control over you and exhibit their plans. And it's like at a war zone where a drone is planned and say go and do this, wipe out the entire nation or city, and then they go and they act. So if you give into your demons, because we all have demons in us. Yes, we do. Angels and demons are in us. We have our good sides and our bad sides that if you give into, that's what is going to occur.
So looking at the case at hand, Eileen, I just want to say that this God we serve is a very wonderful God. Let me take it from a spiritual point of view. You see, when there's grace upon somebody's life, no matter what you do, that grace can never be disgraced. You understand? So I want to see that that's the case with the woman who was targeted, and then God just interchanged everything. It's so unfortunate that it's the victim of neighbors' children who had to suffer the consequence. But God always knows how to do whatever He does. There is always a plan for everything. Yes. Imagine that you intentionally, Queen, you intentionally plant evil for this. That's why they say that man proposes but God disposes. You understand? Because if it had been the case where she planted that it all went the way she wanted it to happen,
she might have gone free.
Maybe she would have gone free, and maybe we wouldn't have heard that a story like this. You know how many people have even died, in the cupboards when they have been planned to be killed like this, and then they actually died, and nobody knows because it's just that foundation of you ate and you slept and you died.
Exactly.
But now, since it's a neighbor, investigation is bound to open and to detect that this is what you were planning.
We had a case here. We were directly involved with it. I always quote it. Our Sandra's, our very own Sandra's nieces who were poisoned. Until today, we haven't yet known who poisoned those two kids who might have eaten here and there around the neighborhood, and ended up eating pear in their grandmother's home, who also ate that same pear. You understand? So they have not yet found out who poisoned those two kids till date. So like you're saying, Dolly, it's true. This woman, maybe if she succeeded in poisoning her co-wife, she might not have nobody might have known exactly who had committed this act, because they might have said that maybe she cooked her own food, she ate outside before coming and eating this one. But this situation, this family, this is the only meal that was eaten at that particular time, and she could not escape. And she accepted that, yes, I did it.
And you see, that's why I was saying that truly God knows how He does some things. Sometimes He knows how to do His things at all times. Eileen, maybe it was just a way to disprove or expose this whole idea or what had ever transpired, just to preserve the other wives, life and all of that.
And who knows if she has been poisoning other people in the past and has made her way, that gave her this audacity to
be where she is
today, to continue. And then God was like, okay, 99 days for a thief, one day for the owner.
The one thing I just want to point out is that whatever you do, they always say that what goes around comes back around. That's just a rule or a law of nature, where you think that you could be doing something. Of course, today she has been caught. You see, that's still an exposure. Today is the 99th day, or the one day for the owner. She has been caught and she has been exposed with, you know, her dubious and terrible, you know,
demonic acts
and, you know, thoughts. You know, it's so embarrassing to see that the woman folk again in Cameroon is still, you know, making waves with bad impact in the society. Well, not to say we are castigating or judging anyone, just like Eileen has mentioned here. It's about you being able to control your thoughts, because it all starts from the thoughts.
The mind.
What you conceive in your mind is what you are capable of doing. That's why even for those who are Christians, you bear with me that by your thoughts, you know, your life is shaped by your thoughts. So for you to be on the safe side, when you start having such thoughts, you understand, please just say, Nara said it already, Dave, get behind me. Get behind me. You understand? You can never be another person. And even if you find yourself in a situation where somebody doesn't love you like they love another person, work on your weaknesses. Whatever they say that is your weakness, work on your weaknesses so that they become your strength. And tomorrow you instead be the one who will be envious. You will be the one who people will be looking up to and like, wow, this and all of that. You know what they say? They say the rejected stone, you know, becomes the chief cornerstone. So take your weakness as an advantage, you understand, and work on yourself and develop it whatsoever, you know. If you chose to become a second wife or to become a co-wife with somebody, or even if you are the one who was the first wife and your husband brought somebody, please, maybe that's a situation that has met you. Live and deal with it. Know that you have a life on your own. It is not to go and end up in prison someday. I mean, like, that's the worst option that anyone can give to themselves.
And what is so funny is about this whole situation is because this lady is from, it's part of her tradition. It's her culture. So how did she even get to this point where she has to start, you know, thinking of killing a co-wife when you know you're getting married to this man and you know that this is polygamous marriages have their challenges. I've never been there, but at least I've lived, you know, I've seen situations where it's never an easy thing to deal with. But again, when you choose to get into it, you accept it. Accept it. You can accept. You either accept it or you walk out of it.
Exactly.
The challenges are normal.
Our decisions.
You don't do that.
I'll choose
don't end up behind bars with children in a relationship and
you're married in a polygamous home and you respect each person in that particular triangle.
Respect your space.
Simple.
Stay in your space.
And like Dolly was saying, Jesus.
It's true that sometimes some of these men, to the husbands, to promote it, but again, woman, you have your dignity to preserve. You have to, you know.
And in life, you shouldn't let another person determine how you should be.
The way you feel,
your happiness, how you feel.
Your happiness should not depend on some other person.
Life shouldn't change your destiny. You
not at
encounter millions and millions of persons. Don't give them an opportunity to change your destiny so easily. You should be able to choose as a human being what is best for you. You know, and like Dolly was saying, you are what you think. You are your thoughts. Yes, as you start nursing evil of poisoning,
that's how evil follows you.
The devil takes control of that and then manifests in one way or the other. Sometimes you do these things without maybe being in your proper mind. Then you just realize that you have done it because you have been nursing those feelings and those thoughts come to pass. So I think we all must be watchful. Let's get this reaction and then hear from Alphonse. Good morning, my media prime. Sylvia writing from Bamenda. After taking in poison, the person should consume palm oil. All right, thank you for your contribution. Probably we'll be getting more, and my ladies will definitely add to that. Good morning. This is so sad. Why do people now behave as if life ends here? Marriage is not a license to heaven. What is a man that you kill a human being just to be with? Killing her is no guarantee that he will not bring in another. Exactly what Nora was saying. What legacy have you left behind now? Will you ever forgive yourself? That's a good question. Clotilde, thank you very much for your reaction. Hope Amanda is cool today. I think the blame goes to the husband. Every man should weigh his pocket. Before involving in polygamy, modern polygamy requires money to be able to host the different ladies in different locations. Women are generally jealous, so no matter how you manage to treat them fairly, one must always feel marginalized. So poor men should not venture into polygamy, though I'm also blaming the co-wife involving in this terrible act. Victor from Suza. Victor, thank you for your reactions. All right, this one says, Hello sweeties in the house, it's another day. Let me start by saying all this. This is the highest level of intent, requires that you intended both the act and the result. In the case, it would be first degree murder because it was intentional. She meant it, and this occurred with premeditation. For instance, you get a gun, you intend to use it, you aim it at the person you wish to kill, and you pull the trigger. There is no question there. The second level is if you behaved in a manner where the result of your actions was almost certain to occur. To give an example, you get mad at someone, so you take out a loaded gun and start shooting around the room. Maybe your intention was only to scare the people and not to actually shoot them. But you should know that pointing a gun in someone's face, general direction, and pulling the trigger is almost certain to result in that person getting shot. Even if that wasn't your primary intention, you very well knew it was likely to happen, so that lady knew all that. The next level of culpability is when you behave recklessly. When this occurs, you took a completely unacceptable risk that was likely to result in the crime, even if it wasn't your primary motivation. Some said that she wanted to kill her co-wife. No to me. She's got her plans to kill. She's a very bad lady. That lady lied that she wanted to kill her co-wife, or maybe report says that, but I'm on this point that she wanted to kill those kids. That was her secondary plan. On the other hand, the lowest level of criminal culpability is negligence. This occurs when you deviate from a standard of care of reasoning. From the standard of care a reasonable person could exercise. You say, she's a very bad human. Let me use this opportunity to say good morning to my uncle, Mr. Zinkeng Charles Atem, and Mr. Ndiba William Itoy. Peter Atem, the fearless socialist from China. Thank you very much. You've been one of our regular participants, and we can always do you this favor of extending love to your loved ones out there. Let's hear from Alphonse, the gentleman in the studio, what he thinks about it. Alphonse, on a une situation tellement compliquée, et ce n'est pas une première fois qu'on parle les choses comme ça, mais ça revient chaque jour. Je ne sais pas, dans une couple comme ça, est-ce que tu penses que le mari prenait soin des deux femmes également pour éviter qu'il y ait la jalousie et tout, parce que Rahim Matou, c'est une vendeuse de nourriture. Maintenant, elle a décidé qu'elle va tuer son co-épouse. Je ne sais pas pourquoi, les raisons. Investigations are still going on. How do you review what happened in Bonaberry?
Eileen, on ne peut pas d'abord parler de la pauvreté, parce que pour prendre deux femmes, oui, il faut avoir des moyens. C'est pas comme si tu vas partir, un pauvre ou un fou va se lever un beau matin pour dire que je vais prendre 2 femmes, 3 femmes, 4 femmes. Il faut avoir d'abord les moyens pour ça. Donc, la pauvreté, d'abord, quelque chose qu'on va mettre de côté.
D'accord.
Il y a maintenant ce souci de jalousie. C'est la jalousie qui anime cette femme. Voilà 2 enfants qui sont morts à la fleur de l'âge. Il y a l'autre qui avait 1 an. Elle ne connaissait même d'abord rien de la vie. Elle était encore... C'est tellement une situation qui écœure d'abord. Et cette femme-là, quand on regarde dans nos sociétés anciennes, les familles vivaient ensemble. Il y avait cette solidarité entre nous, il y avait cette solidarité, cet amour. Tu ne pouvais pas savoir que celle-ci, ce n'est pas l'enfant de celle-ci, parce qu'il y avait cet amour-là, quand la coépouse, quand l'autre femme venait, elle adoptait, elle embrassait même toute la famille. Mais je ne sais pas pourquoi aujourd'hui, cette situation de tuer sa coépouse dans se généraliser dans nos sociétés africaines, c'est une situation franchement qui amène à s'interroger nécessairement. La société africaine, c'est une société qui est au préalable conçue d'une famille polygamie. Donc la polygamie est quelque chose de, on peut dire ça comme ça,
normal, parce que même celui qui est marié, il cherche dehors toujours. Il y a le deuxième bureau, tu vois, il y a les enfants qu'on accouche derrière notre mariage et tout ça. Bon, c'est déjà une société polygame.
Non,
polygamous.
Là-bas, on ne peut pas considérer ça comme la polygamie.
On ne peut pas considérer, mais c'est un acte actes qui prouvent que les hommes africains sont polygames. Polygamous in French. Polygamie, les hommes africains, parce que tu peux marier. Non, ce n'est pas seulement en Afrique. Mais les Africains sont plus.
Même en Europe, il y a les tromperies, c'est pas seulement en Afrique. Quand on parle déjà de la polygamie, moi je vois le sens où tu apportes une femme, deux femmes à la maison pour cohabiter ensemble.
Ça arrive beaucoup en Afrique.
Mais quand on fait déjà c'est plus de la polygamie.
Il y a une phrase en anglais, ça dit que tous les hommes sont polygames. Sont les polygamies. That all men are polygamous by nature.
On ne refuse pas.
Exactement.
Si tu veux, pour te donner le point.
So whether you sign a document and then you stick to 2 wives, or you stick to 1 wife, and then you're cheating with those 2 wives or with that 1 wife, that makes you a polygamous person. The document is just a paper.
Non, ça ne peut pas.
Le document c'est seulement un papier, Alphonse.
What he's trying to say is that when you are not yet married, it shouldn't be considered as polygamy because because polygamy is a form of marriage, but that behavior which you are explaining here is instead flirtatious. Like if somebody is a flirt.
Yeah, you're married and then you have children. No, I'm talking about people who are married. They have side chicks. It doesn't apply only to. No, you are not a polygamy, but you are polygamous. You are polygamous by nature. That's what I said. I said by nature, not by paper, not in the court, not by signature. Yeah, that's by nature. Yeah, you have a wife, and then you have children out of wedlock. Yeah, and you have. C'est ce que je dis que par nature. Par nature, tu n'as pas signé, mais par nature, tu dis que tu vas épouser une femme, mais finalement tu as 2 femmes dehors avec 3 enfants, et ta femme aussi est là-bas avec peut-être 3 enfants. You are not a polygamy by signature, but you are a polygamy by nature. Nature has made you to be like that. Oui.
Allez, si tu veux.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Tu as peut-être, on dit deuxième.
Documents does not prove everything that we as human beings.
On va dire, on va rester dans ce sujet-là si tu veux. On peut dire tu as un deuxième bureau, peut-être même 2 appartements. C'est un deuxième bureau, oui, là-bas. Maintenant, revenons sur notre sujet. La femme qui a tué ses 2 enfants là pour rien, en voulant tuer sa coépouse, je peux dire ça relève de la sorcellerie. Il y a eu un motif. Il y a d'abord un motif derrière cet acte ignoble qui a causé la mort de ces 2 innocents. Parce que tu ne peux pas te lever un beau matin, dire qu'il faut que je tue ma coépouse pour rien. Il y a un motif, il y a quelque chose derrière. Comme l'enquête est en cours, je pense que les forces de maintien de l'ordre et la société camerounaise va pouvoir démanteler, retrouver.
What led her to do that?
Parce que c'est inacceptable, c'est d'abord inconcevable que tu vis toutes ces années avec ta coépouse et puis un beau matin, tu te lèves, tu veux l'assassiner. Pourquoi? Si tu, même si tu veux avoir le mari pour toi seul, c'est pas forcément le cas en tuant cette femme-là qu'il va pas avoir une autre femme hormis toi. C'est pas déjà ça. Le mariage n'est pas quelque chose de forcé où on se dit si je ne suis pas marié ou bien si j'ai pas un mari à moi seul, il faut que je fasse un acte que je vais regretter ou bien qui dépasse la norme humaine. C'est pas déjà normal. Cette femme qui a décidé de tuer ses enfants, je trouve que c'est du barbarisme en fait. Parce que si tu ne veux pas avoir une coépouse, si tu ne veux pas rester dans un foyer polygamie, tu dois te séparer. C'est pas forcé de rester là-bas. Tu dois te séparer du mari en question. S'il dit je veux prendre une 2e femme, ou bien je vais prendre une 3e femme. Tu dis, oh non, je ne veux pas. Si tu prends, je quitte. Bien, tu quittes. Ce n'est pas le seul homme sur terre. Tu n'es pas peut-être aussi.
Et tu n'es pas obligé d'être dans une couple.
Effectivement.
Oui, si ça ne marche pas pour toi, tu laisses.
Effectivement, effectivement, tu n'es pas obligé
mais il y a quelque
de
chose
rester là-bas parce que.
Il y a quelque chose que tu as oublié de penser aussi.
Quoi?
C'est facile pour dire que it's easy to say that, oh, if you are not comfortable with this, you leave.
Oui.
But sometimes people leave and their emotions are still there.
Dolly, don't stay and commit murder.
C'est mieux de commettre l'irréparable. C'est mieux de libérer que de commettre l'irréparable. Maintenant, elle a tué maintenant ses enfants. Est-ce qu'elle a maintenant retrouvé dans la paix? Est-ce qu'elle a dans ce mari qu'elle voulait?
The truth is, after this act, which man in his right senses will keep the woman? Because if you could not get the woman, of course you definitely, some women will go to the point where they'll kill their husbands.
Effectivement.
You know? Because I'm not sure this one, even if this one leaves prison, If she's sentenced and she leaves prison, I'm not sure this man will take her back as a wife. He cannot take her. So you've lost. She's definitely lost everything.
Même si on la prend même pas la voix comme deuxième.
She's lost everything.
Même d'abord avoir le même sommeil, même dormir.
You cannot. You can't even have your peace.
Savoir que tu as tué, tu as.
Unless she's a real witch. Because we have witches who kill and they go about their daily lives
like nothing ever happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Non, là-bas c'est que c'est un vampire sur terre.
That's what she's saying. Except that she's a witch.
It's a witch, like somebody who practices witchcraft.
Effectivement. Le conseil que j'aimerais donner aux femmes qui se trouvent dans les foyers polygamie, c'est de, je dirais, rester comme une famille. Considérez que vous êtes une famille et une seule famille. C'est pas la peine de faire la discrimination en disant que ça c'est l'enfant de Ma Jackie, ça c'est l'enfant de Ma Poli, qu'il faut mettre cet enfant de côté. Non, vous êtes dans un foyer polygamie, vous devez savoir rester ensemble, construire cette union-là dont vous êtes venus compléter ensemble.
D'accord, merci beaucoup, Alphonse. Your opinion does count like every other person on this panel, and as well, you all televiewers. Let's get the COVID-19 updates today, and then we will move on to gossip. So today, let's tackle these countries also battling with their COVID-19 pandemic. I will start in Chad. Chad is counting 4,984 COVID cases, 174 deaths, and recoveries 4,804. Moving on to Central African Republic, we have 11,251 COVID infections, deaths 99, and recoveries 6,859, while Guinea counts 28,255 COVID cases, 293 deaths, and 25,408 recoveries. So please, everyone should do the needful as we battle this deadliest virus. Let's take a transitional break into the gossip slot. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, and today for our gossip story. There is this hot disease that popped up yesterday, and we are still dwelling on it. We have the Nigerian journalist called Mimi Fawaz, who came to Cameroon. She co-hosts the Cannes 2021 draws, and she complains of fighting with a mosquito in her hotel room. This caused a lot of social media brouhaha. People are somehow getting insultive with her, so many people slammed her, but Mimi said she didn't do this to insult anybody. If you can read there, it's in French, and she apologizes. We woke up this morning with her apologizing on Twitter that she's sorry, she did not mean to offend anyone. Her excuses have been forwarded to the Cameroonian populace, and she says it was just her comment that people took this thing at heart. But the question is, why will you complain about mosquito in an African country when you are an African, and probably there are mosquitoes as well in all African countries? So what do you people think about her? What really happened to her?
Everybody wants to make news.
Okay, so
maybe she just wanted to create a buzz because she's coming. Eileen, Mimi is coming from Nigeria, and I think that Nigeria has mosquitoes, because she even mentioned that if she knew that she was coming to battle with mosquitoes, that she would have brought her moon tiger, which is enough to tell us that Nigeria has mosquitoes. If she can keep moon tiger. Moon tiger is strictly to fight mosquitoes. So of course they have mosquitoes in Nigeria. So I think mosquito biting you in an African country is no news.
It's no news.
It shouldn't be any news that you wake up and then you start announcing that mosquitoes do not let you sleep in the night. You're coming to Cameroon, you know that there are mosquitoes. There are mosquitoes even in Nigeria.
Of course.
They have their own problems. We have problems to deal with. We have enough problems to deal with in Africa. Enough issues. What is mosquito? Well, you sit here, mosquitoes bite you left and right. What do you do?
But she succeeded in creating that bird. We know that mosquito is that parasite that carries a virus that gives malaria, and Africa is suffering from malaria from time immemorial.
Across Africa, we have
a vaccine.
Across the African continent, we have mosquitoes. So
Mimi was not lives than maybe even the deadliest.
It's
viruses.
Really not too cool, like for us, especially journalists, we who are, are to be carrying the touristic values of a particular place and spreading it to other people who follow us. At the end of the day, we are influencers, and if you are giving a painting or painting a picture that this place is noted for, this or that, we have other nationals who will be coming into the country, as the days go by. I don't think that's really a kudos for me, and I still call it publicity stunts, because just like you mentioned here, mosquitoes are just everywhere, and especially in Africa, colonial masters have always said that you understand, we know those things, we don't want to call them,
it's normal because
we don't want to hurt ourselves at the end of the
tropical zone.
And I still say it's publicity stunts, because Mimi will not write again, even now that she's writing to apologize in the normal English, but she's doing it in good French, so that we should know that, okay, I'm also very,
she's bilingual.
Yes, she's bilingual.
Is more of a French.
The French yes, that's why it's that's why I say everything is strategized.
Yeah,
we all know
that's why she was in French.
Take note again, like,
and in good French.
Good French.
She was in good French.
So anyways, we thank her.
She really created that verse, eh?
Let her feel free.
They say when
always
people talk about you, they're
know?
selling you. Cameroonians are 100% hospitable. Anybody who has come here will tell you stories, like best of stories. They even prioritize and treat foreigners better off than their own citizens. Have you ever been to a world or a country where that happens? And I will hardly hear a Cameroonian criticizing a particular country where they visit, especially influencers like you said, Dolly, our artists, they go to this country. They're always traveling in this African country, but you've never heard.
They always want to come and share beautiful experiences.
Yeah, exactly. You would rather go for a little
mosquito.
What is
in
that country to come and blow the internet with? Anyways, she has apologized. I accept your apology. I don't know about the other Cameroonians because anybody can, falter at a given point. But when we realize that we've done something wrong and then we apologize, I think it's a good sign. She might have stayed quiet like some people, but she humbled herself and said, sorry, Biko, una forgive me. All right, let's take a commercial break. We'll come back. More of your reactions will be read. Nora will cook and Dolly will do lifestyle.
My Black Crown, MBC. We deal in the sales and delivery of top quality American products and accessories for all natural hair care needs. For nappy hair, we sell products and brands such as Hands Jackies, Shea Moisture, Miel Organic, TGIN, Wild Growth Hair Oil, The Manny Choice, Carol's Daughter, As I Am, Tontu, and many more. From shampoos, conditioners, treatment masks, moisturizing butter creams, oils, gels, accessories such as butterfly clamps, perm rods, bonnets, detangling brushes, and many more. My Black Crown, MBC. Our professionalism and experience speaks for itself. The best relationship between price and quality for all classes of the society. Contact WhatsApp 671 12 96 39. Facebook My Black Crown MBC. Instagram My Black Crown MBC. My Black Crown MBC. For the love of our heritage. BT Media is getting better, going further with clearer images. Our channels, My Media Prime, My Movie Africa, French and English, My Music Africa, My Gospel Africa, Real Black 1 and 2 will be upgrading on EMA 17 with frequency 12,333, symbol rate 30,000 on a vertical polarity 17 degrees east. This is to satisfy our consumers who watch our channels for information, entertainment, and education. BT Media Group, building the future.
Welcome back to the studio, and yes, we have more of your reactions to take this morning as we tackle the story of a lady who poisoned the neighbor's kids in place of her co-wife. That was her intention. Good morning to you all in the studio. Is Emmanuel Muge Ngum from Yaoundé. No matter what the problem is, why should you plan to take away somebody's life? Please, we should learn how to dialogue amongst ourselves, then to take action that can land us into any problem or many problems. I think her dreamland was to be in prison. It has been fulfilled. Oh, that's so sad. God chose Jesus to be at his right hand. So you accepting to be polygamous, you should be ready for such. Just know your place and do what is right. Very important. Humble greetings, people of my media prime. Thank you for an initiative as this to change minds and impact people through this TV. It's normal for discrimination to be in polygamous marriages because we have the tendencies to prefer people. Even in homes, parents prefer some children. You have friends you prefer too. That's very true. It can happen. Hello, greetings to you all. My heart bleeds to hear this. May the Almighty God revenge for those innocent bloods in the Bible. Solomon had hundreds of wives, but this kind of thing never happened in his home. Truly, evil came to the world via women, and women are the evil instrument of our world today. Dedon Henry Tima from Kosala Kumba. Dedon Henry.
Yes, Henry. One of the guy who killed the mother-in-law today.
Thank you. Who killed even the mother? A guy killed the mother recently. A Cameroonian
and the young boy
killed.
who killed the father because of money.
Thank you. Who stabbed him right there in the chest? And the man who killed his wife and children. Yes. Can you imagine that? So
and
this thing here is not about gender.
And
it's not really. Yeah, the boy who killed the girlfriend. The king who killed the Ebe. Good morning. Good morning to you too. Hope you're doing fine. Good morning, best ladies. I want to say she should be jailed for attempting murder, even though it happened to the wrong people. Audrey Daniela from Yaoundé. Daniela is already murdered now. She has already murdered two. Alright, Faith writing from Yaoundé, thank you. Good morning, beautiful ladies. The topic today is so disgusting for me. If a lady is not ready to share her husband with another woman, then there is no need to go in for it. Yes, that's true. Good morning, everyone. Relationship that leads to marriage, you wanted to say, depends on the girl's output, character. Marcus from Makumba. Okay. All right, I think we have taken a majority of them. Always remember to sign your message, okay? So we can always give you a shout out. Nora is warming up to take us to the kitchen. Let me verify if we have more, because we hate keeping people waiting. Good morning to you all in the panel. I think when such a thing happens, we should try to look back at the background of the killer lady. Even though we should be blaming Satan for causing her to do the act, it might also be a generational curse from her family. My advice to those intending to go for any relationship is that you should always look at the background. I'm Galabe Emmanuel from Boya. Thank you very much, sir. Good morning to you all. To avoid some of these things, let some of the men out there stop the habit of always saying that men are polygamous by nature, because there are thousands of men out there who believe they are not polygamous by nature. To that woman, where in short, I don't know what to say. I am Madame Gala writing from Douala. Thank you, Madame Gala, for your reactions. And eating from a neighbor's home, eating outside, what is the most careful thing you think we should do? Because this is really, really sad and hurting. But let me just share with you my own anti-poisonous. I'll say it again, we've said it before. Aloe vera works magic. If you feel like you've eaten some poisonous substances, some of those symptoms or signs that come up, you have fatigue, you have malaise in the stomach, you have vomiting, you just feel reckless at a given point in time, you feel feverish, you just feel weak, you know, you're vomiting here and there, please, let's try to have aloe vera in our compound. Those of us who have land, a little bit of soil, you can even get soil, you put in a bucket, you put your aloe vera and always water them. This can help. It can save a life. You know, you just get the inner part, get the gel from the aloe vera, mix in some water, give that person to drink a glass of that, or they eat the plant, they just chew, get the spines off, then they chew it. It's going to help. Somebody has proposed palm oil, and I think charcoal also is another remedy, it's an anti-remedy poison. Well, we have some of these leaves that people also encourage people. I don't know what they call it. I say eye for fire. When I wish one be that king plants and all that, they are all there. And please, let's encourage people to always have anti-poisons at home. I think there are already the processed ones as well. I don't know how best that one works, but I think it's a call for us all, because we may be talking and yet we don't also have these anti-poisons at home. So please, let's encourage ourselves to always have an anti-poison around, and the aloe vera is the perfect one that we can go for. Nora, you have the microphone. What are we eating?
Okay, Eileen, thank you for giving me back the mic. Today we are eating super crunchy granite sweet. That's what we have
I
today.
love granite sweet. Though my teeth is bad, but I'm so in love with them.
Yeah, that's what we have today. And in doing it doesn't, it just involves your groundnuts, your sugar, water, and a pinch of salt. Just a little bit of salt. Now you start by roasting your groundnuts. You roast your groundnut for about 10 minutes, and then until it is golden brown. Then after roasting, you just let it cool off. You can place it out, pour it out on a tray and let it cool off. Now while the groundnut is cooling off, you place a saucepan or a pot on the fire with a cup of water. Now we are talking about about 2 cups of groundnut here. You need just 1 cup of granulated sugar and just a pinch of salt to neutralize that over sugar taste. Now while it's cooling off, you just put your saucepan on the fire and then put that cup of water, that 1 cup of water, and the 1 cup of granulated sugar. Now, as the water is boiling, you just add the groundnuts onto the pot and keep stirring until the water dries up. It's to do groundnut sweet is just very easy. Now you have to keep stirring so that it doesn't get burnt. You just keep stirring until the water, dries up from the pot, and then you find this is what you're going to be left with, just the groundnut and the particles of sugar, and you can do this just for about 8 to 10 minutes. I think it's okay for the water to dry up, and then you have your groundnut sweet. It's quite easy, very, very easy to do groundnut sweet. Okay.
Just to make
it's a great snack, but I really don't like
the problem is when you have the perfect recipe, if you miss to put much water and less sugar, it will just turn into water. So be mindful of the quantity of sugar
and the water. That's why I said now you're using 2 cups of groundnut. So you use 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of water.
So the sugar should really be
concentrated good, so that
because one day I tried to do my own it turned out to be
the measurements should be very mindful of the measurements you're using.
Thank you for reiterating that, Nora.
Even though I don't love sugar.
I don't like sugar. But there is this trick I usually do.
You put a bit of salt.
I know I eat with groundnuts. I make groundnut in them, like fried groundnuts. I just mix it inside there. It kills that
sugar taste.
Sugary taste. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's a great snack. Children love it. Children love groundnuts. So I know that children really love sweet things.
Stuff. No, I used to love sweet stuff, but right now I don't want them anymore.
Sugar is a no-no for me. I don't like sugar.
All right, let's get this reaction. Thank you very much for teaching us how to make groundnuts sweet. On appelle ça en français caramel, n'est-ce pas? Oui, d'accord.
You love it? Wow.
So just eat a little of it. Don't eat too much. You don't have bad teeth. Good morning. What I know is second wife always coming with evil intention. gonna those days with multiple wives. If you as a man wants to go for your early grave, just marry 2 or more wives. I'm Henry Abongwa from Douala.
I'm telling you, 2 wives is not even a lifestyle anymore. It's not good. Why would you be stressing yourself keeping more than 1 wife?
I don't know, maybe this person wants to fight against, I don't know if I should say infidelity or having multiple partners
it's
out
their
of
culture.
But again, everybody has their preference in life, and as Africans, it's a culture.
I know.
It used to be our thing.
It still is. It still is.
Exactly. We have funds. We have, title men. We have business people. Talk of, I don't know, the Fotsos, the Dangotes, all these people. Most funds.
I think it's a culture. I think it's a culture between the Bamileke tribe.
Yes.
Polygamy.
Exactly. Most of our funds, they have more than one wife. But you've never heard that this one wants to poison. They live. Majority of them live in harmony. Why will you want to poison somebody now?
And at the end of the day, you lose the husband and you go behind bars.
Yeah. Now you have to cry for, and if you have children, have you ever thought about those kids before you take such decision? The trauma they might go through, being your daughter or your son is going to break them. Maybe even in school they will be mocked and all whatnot. They will not be able to cope with that stigma that will always come, whether you like it or not, from their peers. Anyways, let's get into lifestyle. Dolly may have something to add to all what we've been saying, or whatever she has prepared for us on lifestyle. It's that moment when she has something special to teach us or to remind us on. Stay with us.
Hi, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, that is In the House and is the last slot for the day, but not the least, of course. So today, since we're talking about character formation and defamation, I think we'll give remedy for formation rather. So this is some tips on how to live in peace and harmony with people around you. The first thing is participate in community events. Yes, I know there are some people who shy away from social events and parties and all of that, but you are not doing good to yourself, because like the Bible says, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Because if you have a tendency of always participating with people, you will turn out at least let me say 90% of you will be transformed to positive thinking than isolating yourself, giving into evil thoughts. The next thing you should consider doing is also connect with your neighbors. There are some of us who don't even say hi, hello, bonjour to our neighbors. As a matter of fact, the highest thing we can even say is hello, good morning, bye bye, good day. Like, that's so crazy. You don't even communicate with your neighbors. You cannot ask neighbor, how did you sleep? I mean, it's not about knowing where their pants are kept in their rooms. No, but just know some details, basic details about them. We've heard of people, and especially in the world here, where people have died in their homes and have made months and have been decomposed, and their neighbors did not know because they did not have a habit of socializing and communicating with them. If you have people around you, always check on them and communicate with them, and also know your boundaries, because the case of today also was a consequence of over socializing as well. The next thing you should also do is hang out with friends on a regular basis. Now, this is different from the first point in that it's not about partying per se, but have a tendency of at least hanging out with a friend in a trusted friend per se, especially one with whom people share almost the same views in life. It will do you a lot good. Just discussing with a friend, like topics like this that we're handling today, will help you shun immorality and practice more of moral tendencies. You should also be considering spending quality time with your family. I know of a couple of persons who have said that they don't have anything to do with family members, because they feel like their families have rejected or they've been betrayed by family. But that's not a good option at all if you want a harmonious life with the people around you. Because if you cannot, they say charity begins from home. If you cannot give it or show the example from home, how do you expect to share it out there in society? But that notwithstanding, if it's a family also that is instead bringing the bad in you instead of the good, then like the Bible says, a closer friend is better than a brother rather. So also be vulnerable and honest with friends and family. Don't be shy to express your vulnerability. Maybe you are going through a tough time and you have to tell somebody that this is what I'm going through. For instance, the case you're handling today, some of the suggestions we've raised are that this woman could be going through discriminatory marginalization from the husband, the supposed husband, and if you had somebody you could talk to, maybe they'll give you the better advice than just talking to someone who instigate more of negative thoughts into your mind. And to be You are also encouraging us, if you want to be generous or harmoniously live with people in society, be generous and caring, to your partner, his spouse, his family, his friends, and everything. That's to say, be generous and kind. Okay, now this is the difference. This woman in our case of study today, she was generous but with a wicked intention. You can be generous with good intentions, and you can be wicked or generous with wicked intentions. She had good intentions for her neighbor, which God disposed to turn against her neighbor. That's not to say that we are doing the blame game against God, however it turned, but what happened was to expose her wicked intentions. So being generous to your spouse, to your friends and your neighbors and loved ones is also a way of attracting that which you are giving to come back to you. And believe me not, if you practice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these tips we've shared with you today, then you will be a better person, and the people around you will always recommend you for helping them in life. And why not building a better nation that we are struggling with today?
Thank you very much. Lifestyle was on point. The final set of messages before we go. Good morning, ladies. This is not new. It has been happening. Girl, boys, women, men, husbands and wives, jealousy, laziness and lack of Christ has been some of the reasons for this. People should learn to fend for themselves, for their own self-esteem. Be the one to give if you think you are looking for who to give you. Jealousy is real. Eat from no one. Do not marry another woman's husband. Thank you very much, Anita Eno. The Ngala Leonard says, God gave one wife to Adam, and you people have chosen your own way, so you people know better than God. Anita is responding to him by saying, they say Abraham has multiple. Okay, let's read more of the comments. Baby Dolly is on board today. Yes, Sepet Atem, she's here. Abdel's Foro Best Boy says, does money justify the end? I don't think so. A jealous woman is a jealous woman with money or no money. That's very true. Regan Katongo says he is watching. Thank you very much for taking the rendezvous, and let's get the final reactions here. Hi ladies, that lady is a witch. She is diabolic. She has to face karma. Let her be given life imprisonment, cause that's what she deserves. Let her be given life imprisonment, because that's what she deserves. If the relationship wasn't working well for her, why didn't she leave? First time when I be the bring. Okay, I'm going to answer that behind the camera, Jude. Okay, just stay close to us. And I think my ladies have said it all. We should be watchful, educate our children on where to eat, who to eat from, what not to eat. Let's get this one. I really appreciate this educative program, and I will from now on follow your programs. I just came back to appreciate and remind you in the studio that you guys are wonderful. Victor from Susa. All right, Victor, thank you very much. We love you so much as well. We are here for you. Like I was saying, let's try to talk with our kids, educate our kids. And somebody has said, if you can't eat from, it's advisable, yes, not to receive food from neighbors sometimes. It's true we are in an African continent, but times have become very perilous. Okay, and there's this issue of praying before you consume a meal. Anything that you want to eat, always think about praying. That things that God can do that you with your naked eyes you can't see, and you won't even know that God can work a miracle behind that prayer to purify that meal for you. So I think prayers is the key. There is nothing impossible that God can't do. If you have faith and hope in Him, He is definitely going to sort out the situation that could have been so deadly for you. Jealousy is not an option. Yeah, I'm calling for pigeon jealousy. Jealousy no be option. Jealousy na poor. Of course. Alphonse Kwin, thank you very much for being here. We did appreciate your contributions, very educative. Thank you very much, Nora, as well. Yours were indeed very, very thrilling. And Dolly Ngonde, yes, your contributions as well make the program perfect. And thank you all as well for your great contributions. The crew behind the camera, thank you for the great job you're doing, and thanks to our bosses as well. But don't go anywhere. More interesting programs are coming up on My Media Prime Television. Country News is up next week. Master Talk, full edition of the Pigeon News. Until tomorrow, God willing, we'll be here. I tell you to keep it safe and stay blessed.